Hey everybody, I've been quiet on here for a while, but this is my recently acquired 2004 Pontiac GTO in Barbados Blue metallic with a manual transmission. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys around the car since this is a mostly original example, and we'll talk about what's going to be going on with it. Like I said, this is a mostly mechanically and visually untouched 2004 GTO. It's got mostly factory stuff on it. It's got some SAP grills. Front bumper's been resprayed. It's got a factory hood still, and look at that, stock LS1. That's almost a rarity these days, seeing as they've been out for almost 30 years now. I haven't had to do anything to it aside from just a little maintenance oil filter. It had an AC belt squeak, so I went ahead and changed both the AC belt, idler, and tensioner. I did the same thing for the main drive as well. But aside from that, everything else is, for the most part, untouched in here except for an aluminum radiator, which coming from not only an 06, but a heavily modified 06, where essentially nothing is original in the engine bay except for maybe the fuse box and the ABS and some fluid reservoirs. This is a weird thing to see. I'm still getting used to this on an LS car, but it's been great so far. As the car sits though, it's got a 05-06 brake swap. Since the 04s are a 1-year only brake, they're really not the best in the world. So these are, I believe, factory base model C6 brakes front and rear. It's got a rebuilt 2-piece OEM drive shaft in it with a JXB carrier bearing. It's got JBA shorty headers, if you could see those under the hood. I believe it's got a cat delete, and then it's, I believe, a JBA exhaust all the way to the back. The inside is pretty much original. It's got stock shifter handle, stock boot, stock steering wheel. It does have an MGW short shifter in it, which is a great thing since those are wonderful to drive with. But it's even got all the stock green lighting, which is gross. For those of you that noticed as well, not tinted, 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 and the back's not tinted yet either. I'm going to go ahead and actually, this is scheduled out for a replacement tomorrow. We got a rock chip right here on the drive back, unfortunately, but it actually already had a scratch in it that I can feel with my hand. So I'm going to have this replaced before I have the rest of the car tinted, since it'll end up being tinted the same as the orange car. So I believe 35 everywhere else and then 50 all the way down the windshield. Side windows came out great. My local friends at It's a Wrap did it. Love those guys. They always take great care of cars. Never have a doubt leaving anything with them. I did have them schedule out with my glass guy to go ahead and replace the quarter windows, since these are, the trim is not separable, or it cannot be separated from the actual quarter window itself. So the trim was super roached. They usually go bad right here along the back. Any essentially almost flat facing surface that the sun would hit. And this car lived its majority of its life in Florida, so those needed to be replaced. I already actually had these tinted sitting in a box for like 4 years, 5 years. So thankfully everything went great. No issues, no sealing problems. Everything just went right in. It does need some other stuff. These are the completely original B-pillar trims on the orange car. This car lived in Pennsylvania up until March 15th of 2015 when I took ownership of it. As you can see, this much darker than this. So I don't know if I'm going to try and possibly do a little restoration on these, use some sort of coating. This one does have a little scratch here that you can see, which kind of bothers the shit out of me, but I don't know. I may swap those out, whatever the case may be. But you can tell that there's a difference in where a car lives and how it lives. The back window does need to get replaced. I guess the back windows in these are NLA from GM. Nobody makes a reproduction of them, and there's a bunch of tint adhesive that won't come off nicely, which I'm not terribly pleased about, but it is what it is. I don't want to scrape the back window since that would destroy the heating element, and also I've seen other people have issues where it messes with the factory antenna since they are integrated into the back glass itself. So I found a good used piece for about $100. I'm going to end up picking that up, cleaning the crap out of it, pull the rear window out, all the trim, and this trim needs to be fixed anyway since it actually is no longer adhered to the rear window. Also, this car does have a JHP, an older JHP V2 spoiler on it, I believe. These are my other favorite spoiler for these cars. You can see the difference between a JHP and a Maverick Man. I do like the Maverick Man. I have no intentions on pulling that off the orange car since that's kind of a carbon heavy car. I really like the contrast on the bright orange with it, or brazen orange, but since it's already painted, it's mounted to the car. It's painted actually pretty nicely. I'm going to go ahead and leave that since it's got a very, very nice profile to it. This car also does have an 0506 rear bumper swap, which even if I did find a different Barbados blue car to buy, since I've been looking for one for a while, the 0506 bumper swap would have been happening anyways. It does have 06 tails, which these ones aren't in the best shape, but you know, there's a crack in the lens right there in between the turn signal and the reverse lamp housing. And there's a little bit of lens separation on it here and there. The factory adhesive that they use that they're really badly known for. Right here, you can see where it's starting to bubble and something died inside of my taillight, and I'm pissed. But I do have a set of HSVs, so the same identical, what we would call here 427s, but they came on HSV GTOs in Australia for the VZs only. I've got a spare set of those that need lens swapped over, and then they'll be mounted into this car. I did also add a brand new Mavman diffuser in carbon. I don't really intend to put a whole lot more carbon on the car aside from that. And this is one of the newer pieces off the updated mold that he had started working on a little while ago. These fit very well. I think they fit better than the original series, which that's still a 1x1, so that's a fairly old piece that's been in the car for maybe 6, 7, 8 years off the old mold. And I actually got lucky to get that one. But I absolutely love these pieces. It's going to look even better once I get this exhaust aligned, since the driver's side didn't want to align out quite as nicely as the passenger side did. But I mean, come on, look at that. That's quite a nice looking view. Like most of these cars, the door handles need to get resprayed if they've been driven really at all. As I said earlier, the car does have an MGW shifter in it, which is a very, very nice feeling piece. I left the factory shift boot on it since it was in rather decent shape. The stitching is correct for silver, but I did find a new shift knob since right here on the crown, right around this silver trim. It was worn pretty bad, so I went ahead and swapped that out and siliconed it on, since you have to do that with the MGWs. They don't take the factory attachment style, the little blue clips that are on the underside of it. But see how long that throw is? Versus the orange car that's got the same shifter. It is set lower, but it's got a T56, or it's got a Magnum F in it. Substantially shorter. It's got a much nicer shift feeling to it. I have actually done some stuff with this car, though. I found a new old stock shift boot in Australia, so I went ahead and had that imported since the old one was torn here on the leading side. But this turned out very nicely. I just need to find a shift knob for it now, because this one's kind of chewed up and it's got the same wear right here along the crowning around the silver trim. Anyways, this car for some reason had a black e-brake button handle, so I went ahead and sourced another one. That's the correct silver. Unfortunately, this trim was busted down here, so I actually need to source a new one of these handles, or at least a decent used one. I also need to adjust the e-brake because it's pretty loose and shitty. Aside from that, the HVAC waterfall had a wear spot right here, which quite deeply bothered me, so I found this one. Thank you, Ryan Nagel. He was parting out a car. I was able to pick one up from him, bang on market value, shipped it fast, no complaints. I did add the Patrick McNutt produced, or brown Cadillac on Etsy, the billet black anodized and knurled knobs. These are such a nice feeling piece. I've done an install video on these before. Fairly easy swap, takes 15 minutes once you disassemble everything, maybe 30 minutes in total if you're being careful. I did have to get a new top plate because the original one hadn't moved in probably 25 years and it broke 20 or 25 years. So I had to fix the glove box since the stoppers on the side were torn, so the glove box would fall. But now this glove box is actually broken. the inner actual post that's on it is busted. So as you can see, it's not really affixed to a whole lot right now. So I need to either fix that or I need to source a new glove box. But aside from that, pretty much everything else in here is original. The doors are missing the suede, which that's not a problem since I was planning on doing Barbados blue matched suede like I did in the orange car. I was planning on doing that on this. The lower dash trim down here and along the transmission tunnel. I think I'm just going to do the front of this car since I did the inside on the quarters on that. But that one was a much higher piece of trim. I am going to pull out all of the interior guts this winter. You know, I hate the green screens with a burning passion, and I don't like aftermarket head units in any vehicle. So I'm going to have all this converted over to white LED. I think I'm going to do blue needles on this car. And in case you want to hear what it sounds like, what a stock LS1 with shorty headers and a JBA exhaust sounds like, well, here you go. So yep, this is the new project. I've already got some coilovers sitting around for it, long tube headers. I've got an 0506 hood. I've got an OE set of SAP upper grills that are going to get resprayed factory correct SAP gray to go in this car. But I'm still pretty pleased with this. I've put a whole mess of miles on this car so far, and it's almost surreal to me. You know, I don't make a bunch of money, but it was very nice that after maybe passively looking for one of these for 5 or 6 years that I finally found one in this color. And also now that I have a drone, I can now start doing videography and rolling stuff, mostly by myself since, you know, everybody's work schedule conflicts and stuff like that. So, yep, this is hopefully going to be a nice, fun, streetable car that won't have an incredibly heavy clutch like this thing does. And it's been so nice being able to hop back into a nice turnkey, mechanically stock car with a soft clutch that you can just go out and row gears in. So yeah, I guess stay tuned and hopefully get rolling on this stuff here pretty soon.